So tell me why you're running.
Yeah, so I'm the executive director of the Other Way Ministries. I've been there for 15 years, helping individuals and families get connected to opportunity. And I see this as just another way to extend my service to the neighborhood. Probably the thing that got me most kind of stirred to be more active was the affordable housing issue in town. So the Other Way doesn't do affordable housing per se, but we were able to convene a group of people that has led to some really great progress on that on the west side, and that got me kind of in the mix a little bit more and piqued my interest to further my involvement with the city.
Well, you mentioned housing. What do you think the biggest challenge facing the city is these days?
I think that, first of all, the city's doing great, which is wonderful, and I think that we have an opportunity to keep it moving in the right direction. That doesn't mean that there are not a few challenges that we still have to address. Affordable housing is at the top of my list. On the west side, it's a great place to live. It's always been the cheapest place to live in town, and that's changing a little bit. So I think that we do need to make sure that we provide a space for people to live where they want to live.
How do you do that? I mean, the affordable housing problem is a result of pretty much successes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the neighborhoods are coming back in a big way. The entire city's benefiting from these things. So the prices are going up. So how do you try to balance the success with still providing somebody an affordable place to live?
Yeah, the success needs to continue. I've been in the neighborhood long enough to see what disinvestment looks like, and you see great businesses like Parkside Foods close or Fulton Pharmacies close. So the success needs to continue. The business is what drives this city and is what's made this city kind of be able to weather some serious storms. But I think that it really is about intentionality. I think that by creating that fund, it says this is a value of our city, and we need to determine the most effective way to use those dollars so that they actually create the most affordable housing. I think that the Land Bank is an incredible organization that allows for land to be kind of preserved. It's all about inventory. Once an apartment goes market rate, it's not usually going to return to affordable. So how can we take the inventory that is available, preserve a place for people, and build housing at all levels? I mean, we need housing at all levels in this town because the vacancy is so low. If you build housing at all levels, then everybody can find a place to live in any neighborhood.
What are some of your other issues you're concerned with?
Yeah, I think that certainly community police relationships are on the forefront of people's minds right now. And I think that, first of all, I think it's important to acknowledge that the chief and the force has been willing to make adjustments. So they said yes to body cams. They said yes to more training. They opened themselves up to scrutiny with this study, this traffic stop study. And I think that's to be celebrated. I mean, there's been a ton of gun violence on the west side, and they're there. And so I think it needs to be acknowledged that they're being open. And I think that the community's voice needs to be acknowledged as well. And again, money was set aside, $1 million a year for 5 years. And that shows that it's a value of the community to make healing happen in this space. So now I think that the real challenge is getting people to the table to agree on the strategies that are going to produce the outcomes we want to see in terms of improving those relationships.
Money's one thing, but getting people to come together is a different and perhaps bigger challenge?
It is, yeah. So I think that one of the unique gifts that I would bring to this role is most of the work that I've done in Grand Rapids is collaborative in nature. It's bringing people together to solve a problem. So whether that's with the Early Learning Neighborhood Collaborative, where there's 7 agencies coming together to figure out how can we provide affordable childcare in neighborhoods to struggling families. And that's really what needs to happen. I think we need to bring people together, and there needs to be empathy developed on both sides of these issues. They can't be winners and losers. It needs to be, let's get to win for the community. Let's sit down at the table, and that's going to require a lot of openness. It's going to require a lot of effort.
Open camera time, open mic night, open mic day. Just tell us tell people what we may not have covered in the interview and why you think you should be on the City Commission.
Yeah, I love this town. Came here from a rural city and fell in love with how the city works. I've been working on behalf of families for the last 15 years, and I would bring that experience and that neighborhood level role to this seat. And I'd appreciate your vote. I think I'm a bridge builder, and I think that I'll help get things done. I'll help keep things being successful and keep growing as a city, and also make sure that people don't get left behind in the process.